Now, friends, when we talk of the blockchain, when we talk of the cryptocurrencies, we cannot avoid talking about the Bitcoin because if Bitcoin would have not been in the existence and would not have become so successful a cryptocurrency, this whole technology would have been missed by the humanity. The people would not have really noticed the potential of this revolutionary internet based digital technology. So, what has happened is that even today, in spite of the fact that the Bitcoin was introduced in 2009, almost 11 years back, the Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency is still the most popular cryptocurrency which is based on blockchain technology. There are hundreds and hundreds of other cryptocurrencies which has come in the market after Bitcoin, but the share of Bitcoin in the crypto world business is more than 50%. So in 2008, anonymous person called Satoshi Nakamoto announced to have created world's first cryptocurrency, which means a currency which was based on mathematical functions, foolproof methods, algorithm, the use of technology, use of computers, the use of internet technology, and all these enablers could bring out this new innovation which he claimed to be the next wave of international digital currency called cryptocurrency. At the time of its inception, the starting price of the Bitcoin was almost negligible, and even in 2009, the price of one Bitcoin was few cents. And for example, the price of 10,000 Bitcoin at one point was approximately $14 in 2009. So that kind of situation was there. But look at the rise of this currency, which proves its popularity, that the current price of Bitcoin has surpassed already US dollar 60,000 for one Bitcoin. So the humanity in its entire history has not seen this kind of rise of a particular currency, which shows that how much popular this currency is and how much practical this currency is in the market. Now, the total number of bitcoins which are in circulation based on the whole ecosystem of blockchain based cryptocurrency created by Satoshi Nakamoto and the protocol which was created by Satoshi Nakamoto, the anonymous person, that today the total number of bitcoins in circulation the worldwide are approximately less than 20 million in numbers. So that's a very small amount looking at the use of cryptocurrencies in business and trade. And probably because of this lack of availability and the use and the demand and the acceptability of section of the society about Bitcoin, the prices have shot up to almost US dollar 60,000 for one Bitcoin. So this whole concept of the blockchain technology has been demonstrated very suitably by the success of this cryptocurrency, and that is Bitcoin, which is the world's most popular cryptocurrency. Now, friends, if we talk about another very important issue related to blockchain technology and the cryptocurrencies, which are part and parcel of this technology, and together the blockchain and cryptocurrencies we popularly call as cryptos. So what I mean to say that the blockchain ecosystem require the inherent use of cryptocurrencies, which is very important element of the effective solutions which are based on blockchain, and they actually require the use of cryptocurrencies in this system for all kind of economic use or the financial aspects of the solution, as was demonstrated in the case of United Nations WFP case study, wherein the major benefit of the United Nations was the movement of money to the local Jordan authorities using the cryptocurrencies. So the similar use of cryptocurrency is very, very important. But at the same time, the use of cryptocurrency also bring lot of debate on the ethics and the issues related to the bona fide use of digital currency which is based on cryptocurrency, and the possibility of the misuse of the digital currency which is based on blockchain by the unscrupulous elements, the international mafia of criminals, the terrorists, and the people who are involved in the dirty international business or the transactions which are connected with the illegal use of tactics and goods which are not allowed to be used by the local authorities. The very aspect of cryptocurrency gives a lot of freedom of use by the players of this technology. And not only the illegal use of the transactions based on cryptocurrencies for the underground operations of the unscrupulous elements of the society, there is a typical repulsion in many people of the public who think that cryptocurrency and the blockchain technology is basically a digital scam, because the money and the transactions are all digital and they are invisible. So if not all, but some part of the section of the society feel that the whole concept of crypto is a bubble which is going to burst anytime. And another very important aspect of this technology, especially connected with cryptocurrencies and within cryptocurrencies, especially the currencies like Bitcoin, the cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which is highly volatile in the market, and the rise and fall of the prices of cryptocurrency, the demand and supply is very skewed in nature. So all these kind of unbelievable fluctuations and the everyday news connected with the rise and fall of Bitcoin brings a lot of skepticism in some part and some section of the society. So public opinion, in short, is very mixed in nature, and the issue related to the use of blockchain and cryptocurrency requires that the public actually understands this technology. They are deeply aware of this technology, and there are things like what I talked about, the United Nations World Food Program. We require many such applications and demonstration to the public that blockchain and cryptocurrency can bring good for the society. It can improve the life of the people, the common people. It can reduce poverty. It can reduce the rich poor gap in the society. It can bring equality. It can bring justice in the system. and the equitable distribution of resources, the world resources, if these things can be demonstrated better, and with so many examples of the type of World Food Program, if it can be done, more and more people are ready to accept this technology. And many of them who are already aware of the pitfalls and the achievements and the brighter and the dark side of this technology, the general opinion is in favor of the cryptos. So the problem is that most part of the section of the public do not know deeply about cryptos and what its true potential is, and that has been creating a lot of problem in the exploitation of the full potential of blockchain. So friends, now that we have already talked about what is Bitcoin, what is blockchain, what is the role of miners, how Bitcoin mining is done, what is verification process. So we now have some idea about the concept, the so-called softwares which are the foundation of this whole mathematical cryptography, the whole concept of blockchain. So it is pertinent at this point to really understand that what actually is the philosophy behind this whole concept, which was mooted by this anonymous person called Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, who is this Satoshi Nakamoto? Nobody knows. But what went into his mind and why he brought this concept to the limelight by creating the first commercial cryptocurrency, which was so absolute in nature, which was so perfect concept in nature that it has absolutely revolutionized the international monetary system, so that we have the world's first mathematical cryptocurrency, which resulted into many similar cryptocurrencies based on mathematics, which has never happened in the human history. So who is this person, Satoshi Nakamoto? What was in his mind? What was his philosophy in bringing this concept to the fore, and this whole concept of blockchain, how it emerged? The very important issue which many experts have debated, that the most important reason of this concept to come to the fore are the enablers, the technological enablers, which were there in the digital space, and these technologies were available. The ideas were mooted even before Satoshi Nakamoto. There were research papers on cryptography, there were research papers on cryptocurrencies, but the practical solution was not there. So somebody had to do it. So one thing is that Satoshi Nakamoto did, because he had everything in place and he really wanted something to come out of this type, which is new, which is innovative, and which has potential, the future potential. So probably that motivated this anonymous person to come out with this concept of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain. Another aspect of the researchers who have researched the this mysterious person Satoshi Nakamoto and his earlier research papers, again anonymous in nature, and the articles which he published, it looks like this person belongs to some country which is definitely not Japan, as the name suggests, but the person seems to be a British person from the several research studies. But whoever it is, that is not very important that this person is from Japan or from Britain. But many people say that the so-called Satoshi Nakamoto was very much upset with what happened in the economic meltdown of 2008. So, according to these researchers and based on the articles published by Satoshi Nakamoto and the kind of thinking he had through these articles, it looked like that Satoshi Nakamoto is solely alleging the role of the big banks in mismanaging the international financial system, which resulted into the economic meltdown of 2008, and because of which the unsuspecting taxpayers throughout the world had to pay for the mistakes of these central banks and the intermediaries, the central authorities of the economic systems and the monetary systems of the world and the local governments. And due to their misdeeds and their bad management, financial management, and their greed, this meltdown happened. But the cost had to be paid by the innocent taxpayers, and he was not really happy with this kind of situation, and he was trying to indicate that he's looking to create something digital, something virtual, something based on the technology, something handled by the computers, the network of computers, the different scattered nodes, decentralized nodes. So he was looking for a decentralized monetary system which he brought in the form of the Bitcoin based on the blockchain technology, and he could find this workable solution. He actually wrote a research paper on this, and he provided this solution to the world in his research paper, and keeping himself anonymous. So the researchers are very confident that the main philosophy of Satoshi Nakamoto was to do away with the role of the intermediaries and the central authorities who were largely responsible for the economic meltdown of 2008, the global economic meltdown of 2008. So the system which he brought using the enablers, the technological enablers, the advancement in technology and the things which would be available by that time. So he could bring a unregulated, decentralized kind of monetary system based on digital cryptocurrency, an alternative to the traditional banking, which have occasionally failed to deliver due to their own mistakes. So this is the consensus which is made by several researchers on the whole concept. So this basically, friends, forms the so-called Bitcoin philosophy and the mind of the person who was the originator of Bitcoin in 2008, and the flow of thoughts of the person who was behind this absolutely amazing new innovation, the kind of which was never seen after the advent of internet technology. So here we get some idea of the Bitcoin philosophy. The Bitcoin economics emerges from the same idea, the same philosophy, And the historical background of the economics of the currency and the eras of currencies, the past eras of currency, which we already know, the ancient era of commodity based currencies. So, gold, silver, spices, and several rare commodities were used as the international currency or the even domestic currency. So there was a time when even some of the spices were used as currencies, and of course the rare metals were used. Then the second era of this history of the eras of currencies is the era of political based currencies, the so-called dollar economy, which is based on the free floating currencies of the world in a dynamic and very large foreign exchange market, which is of the size of almost more than $5 trillion per day. It's a very big foreign exchange market, which is still very dominant and popular, and even today the whole the cryptocurrency volume is just minuscule of this whole political based currencies, which are still the main currency of the world. So dollar economy, we are living in this dollar economy, and we are living in this very old system of many decades old system of free floating currencies of the world, and we are living in this political based era, and we are at the cusp of a new era, which is mathematics based era of currency, the so called cryptocurrencies, what we are talking of. The Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the Litecoins, and hundreds of such cryptocurrencies are there in the market. Some have really succeeded enormously, and some have really failed to see the light of the day. But these mathematical based currencies are there, they are being used. Many big organizations have adopted the new mathematical currencies, and many banks have accepted this concept of mathematical based currencies. They are being used commercially. The prices of some of these currencies have skyrocketed like anything, and that is what is happening. And if we talk of the future, if we talk of the future of the economics, the future of the monetary systems, and very importantly the future of the world currency, we can definitely say that the mathematical currencies and the mathematics based currencies era will be reasonably long in the future, and the share of these cryptocurrencies will definitely increase, and along with this the blockchain and blockchain based solutions, which will be part and parcel of this cryptocurrency landscape, would definitely remain for a longer time. The generation of the people, at least one or two more generations of the people, current generations, will see the bigger and bigger role of the mathematical based currencies. And when we talk of the long term future, we are talking of the so called intergalactic currencies. We do not know this future of the currency, what it will take the shape of. The so called Star Trek era, new modes of currency may emerge, which may be more sophisticated, probably based again on mathematics, and the flawless systems of the current type of cryptocurrencies, the method by which these cryptocurrencies are operated, the so-called proof of work, which requires enormous amount of energies, which actually is creating problem for the sustainability, and the climate issues are there. So probably in the future we will see the currencies which would be based on the similar principles, but would do away with this use of high amount of energies which is wasted in the proof of work, and that's a big burden on the humanity at present, and probably it will definitely emerge as more sophisticated and flawless system of future currencies. So we are in the multi-billion dollar economy of cryptocurrencies already, which are there to see, and which has become the reality of today's day-to-day life and the international business and the foreign trade. And as the case study of United Nations WFP, World Food Program, demonstrates, the organizations are benefiting from these new concepts, new innovations. So this whole system of new mathematical based currencies, which is the result of the historical journey of the different eras of currencies, forms the so-called today's Bitcoin economics, which is very dynamic in nature, which has resulted into the prices of Bitcoin shooting beyond $60,000 per Bitcoin, which had been unthinkable in the year 2008 or 9, or maybe even 7-8 years back. It was unthinkable that Bitcoin can cost this much, but it has happened. So these are very indicative signals, and they indicate the things to come in the future, and there is a lot to read from these developments and the facts which we are able to see, unthinkable, unbelievable facts. So that is what is the concept of Bitcoin economics.